Hello, friends. I am Umar Khan. I am done with residency, but a few pieces of general advice for the upcoming application season. And number one is submit the application early. Early in September, people can start using the ERAS to apply to programs that have been approved by the 𝐂𝐨𝐲 𝐈𝐧𝐭𝐞𝐫𝐯𝐢. It is best to have all of your applications done before the season starts, so you can send them in all at once, close to the first possible date that is going to be fairly important because programs are going to be reviewing applications. So the NRMP themselves, they suggest that most interview invitations are sent out by the end of October. And the latest data that we have, 2019, this is the most recent year for which data is available, I believe, that 65% of interview invitations had been sent out by the end of October. So if you send out your applications as soon as you can, you have the best chances of getting interviews. Make sure your application is complete. A lot of programs download applications possibly within the first week, and they may not look at applications even later on. So just keep that in mind. Point number two is find programs. If you are an IMG, of course, you have to look for programs that are IMG friendly. So it's a good idea to find programs that have a history of taking IMGs and apply to them. FREIDA, FREIDA, lets people use more than 35 filters to narrow the search of your program, such as percentage of IMGs in a group of trainees and the types of visas that are accepted. Let's say, for example, H-1B or J-1 visa. If you are trying to decide between a few specialties, you might also want to find out which ones are the most popular among IMGs. The NRMP data shows that internal medicine, family medicine, pediatrics, psychiatry, even emergency medicine are relatively five specialties that most candidates had been placed in 2020 and 2021 cycle. Then moving forward, number three will be that interactions matter. So doing well on your interview is going to be super important. A survey of residency program directors was done by the NRMP, and they found that interactions with faculty members during those interviews and visits were the most important thing that they looked at when ranking applications. And virtual interviews are going to be happening. And this is again for this year, that is 2022. It's going to be virtual interviews, and you will need to learn to how to present yourself properly in a virtual interview setting. And stick around, and later on we'll look to talk about that when the time comes after September, October. Number four is going to be don't let any bad result derail any of your plans. Let's say if you don't match, or let's say if you don't match. I know a person, she went to medical school in Karachi and tried to get into 137 programs, and this was during the 2013 math season. She was invited to 7 interviews, but nowhere actually ended up giving her a job. After that happened, she waited, did a further internship, and waited to get another chance. Next year, after she did a lot of hard work making connections, it worked out for her. She got a preliminary position and then switched over to ops gynecology, and she worked in a hospital in Pennsylvania where she had a residency. So there are many stories like this, and even if your application is not perfect, there are always ways to improve your application. So if you don't match, there could be something called the SOAP, the Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program, that lets you apply for and are offered positions that were not filled. But don't worry about that right now. Plan and prepare for the match, and we can talk about this topic later on. All of you hopefully will match, but if you don't, do things that keep you clinically relevant. This could be research in your chosen field, which would give you points for showing your dedication to the field. And you still have time right now to work on certain aspects to improve your application. Get that article published, get that poster in, do that clinical experience, get that externship in, get that observership in. You can still do that. And this could involve doing more unpaid or even paid internships, clerkships at hospitals that you may be interested in, or anywhere for that matter. Use these as interviews. Okay, use these as interviews. Everybody is always judging you. Just keep that in mind. Okay, don't take it too strongly, but everybody's always judging you, and you have to present the best form of yourself. You can also look for jobs such as a medical assistant or a scribe in hospitals and clinics, in ERs. These can definitely improve your application. Anything that keeps your knowledge of medicine up to date, anything that keeps you involved, is going to be good for you. So, how should you go about your interview subsequently after your applications? Of course, whether it's online or in person, one person has done one thing. I mean, you can do is be genuine, be a genuine image of yourself, be engaging, be cordial, be a good communicator, be caring. Know your CV from top to bottom. This is one thing that I picked up in individuals, that they may have put something down on their CV, but when you ask a question about it, they may not be able to talk eloquently about that aspect. So that is a big red flag during an interview. So be prepared to talk in detail about anything at all in your CV. And once you have the interview, it's more about you and less about your application. Just keep in mind, let people know who you really are. I had one interview where I talked mostly about my hobby, where I make model houses and ships from toothpicks. And I found out after the interview that I had done really well, and I had some positive feedback. But don't fool people. Don't fool people. Just be who you are, and let people know, and practice and prepare your interview questions. Prepare your interview questions well. I would say even write them down, but make them appear a representation of yourself. Bring out what is about you. Okay. So good luck, guys. Preparation is the best result of preparation. Basically leads to relaxation subsequently. So hopefully you prepare enough that you are relaxed and confident when you are going through this process, and especially when you are interviewing. Okay, prepare well, and you will be happy with your application, as well as you will probably get a better number of interviews, and that will of course keep you relaxed and happy at your eventual success. Thank you so much.